Kick off. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Adnan Hendricks. I'm a Microsoft MVP, that's my Twitter account, and this session is really about Windows 10. I noticed that yesterday, today, maybe even the day before, a lot of guys have been slagging Windows 10, but it's not Windows 10's fault. I find it a great product, just a lot of people aren't used to how to use it, and Remco and Geert scared you guys in this very room. Hopefully I can make you guys feel a bit more secure if you guys look at the session. But since we need to get going, the Big Easy risotto, that's a nice meal I had in the center of town the other day. Just more about me. Important thing is more Twitter and the website, typt.com. So in case you guys want to hire me for something, just go ahead and give me a call, send me a tweet, I'll be there. Too late. The session covers a lot of the security features you should be implementing if you're using Windows 10. Now I know a lot of you guys use VDI and all those other stuff, and then it becomes a little hazy when you use Windows 10, but if you're going to use it primarily on your desktop, in your companies, like you guys, nobody's sitting here with a laptop that's pure VDI or session-based, right? And most of the time in companies, everybody has a primary device, so a laptop or something. So that's a good idea to use Windows 10 because it gives you the security features. On the management side, things have pretty much stayed the same. It's just become extra stuff in which to use it, like you can use MDM to manage your desktop. Because Windows 10, whether it's Windows 10 mobile, IoT, laptop, desktop, you name it, it's the same Windows and it's got the same stuff built in. So there's like a little MDM agent as well, OMA DM standard. So if you're using one of those, you can just manage the OS. PowerShell, a lot of us use PowerShell. Group policy, and I know that there's still a difference when it comes to group policy and MDM, but in the future, who knows, some of that stuff is rumored to meet each other halfway, where if we have something in the cloud or registered with Azure, because you can use an Azure Active Directory login on your Windows 10. You don't need an on-site Active Directory anymore. So you can do more fine-grained management, including all the customizations and things. But right now, I know for the guys, when I did beginning of the year, I did for a large Dutch company, well actually the government. I did work on their Windows 10 POC, and another Dutch company, Windows 10 POC, they wanted everything like Windows 7 used to be. It doesn't work that way anymore because it's not the same kind of product. And the reason that a lot of guys are complaining about Windows 10 uses more buffer and memory and all that other stuff is because it's just more graphics based. It's more, finger pointing stuff instead of just going through a menu. And most of the stuff in your Windows 10 environment, they are all apps. Even your lock screen thing, the picture, that's an app. And that thing changes automatically, it hooks directly into the internet, and it just pulls a new picture off the internet. So that's uses a lot of graphics, uses a lot of memory and so forth. But this is the must-haves and why people should move to Windows 10. In the Windows 7 is only going to last till 2020, January sometime, and you need to think about all that stuff on how you're going to migrate all that stuff, and it's not easy right now. BitLocker, you guys should know. I hope you all have it on your laptops. If not, if you lose it, everybody has access to your stuff. Windows Update, I'm going to show you why Windows Update is important. There's been a lot of that confusion with the branches things, and also how. Windows Defender, built-in, free. And at the bottom here you have Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection, which is a great new cloud service from Microsoft to counter all that stuff, that scary stuff that Remco and Geert scared you with. So I'll be showing some of that. Windows Information Protection, it used to be Enterprise Data Protection, or EDP, if you have been using it. It's more or less like a way you can protect your documents and your data, and depending on if you're using a mobile or a computer and different scenarios. And then Windows Hello, Device Guard, Credential Guard, some of the stuff. And why you need it? It's because you don't want to be hacked or pawned or owned or whatever they call it. And especially the last one. The last one was a really nice feature. To go through the editions, there's really just two nowadays: enterprise and education. Forget about all the other stuff. That LTSB is really just a form of enterprise stuff which you can't really use for your users. It's for like special workloads, like those machinery-driven stuff that's still running XP, or those kind of stuff that doesn't need to change for years, you need to stay stable for years. That's what LTSB is for. It's not really for end users, because not only is it stripped from all the normal stuff that you do need, it's really just a base Windows with the idea that you're going to run one program on and that's it. And then you can patch it with security updates, but it's pretty stable on the feature set for 10 years. So for about 10 years you can use LTSB, but for the rest you're going to have to use a normal enterprise, or for schools and varsities and stuff, the education models. I'll get back into the brancher stuff when we do Windows Update. But BitLocker, it's really just hard drive device encryption. Some of the new stuff is that they use a better encryption algorithm from the build 1511 and above, and this is more for 1607, and that's the confusion part. You know that you have to talk in terms of build numbers nowadays with Windows 10. Yeah, 1511, 1607, and there's a nice website or slide that pretty much shows them. Now this is like still latest information, released information. I'm not sure if everybody can see that, but this really says that this is what Microsoft recommends, and that's the build 1607, which is pretty much current.
Can you press Control Plus?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay.
Can you see it now? Yeah, well that's the current branch or version that you should be on. If you're running 1511, you're probably doing that in your organization. But if you're having normal computers for your organization, that's the build you should be on. And some of my clients were like, why didn't you tell us all those features are going to be in 1607? Because guess what? I didn't even know, you know? So some of the stuff, even MVPs get at a, later information, because some things have to be proprietary or business secrets. So current branch for business on this slide, as far as Microsoft is concerned, is 1511. Because something comes out and then you have like 4 months to max of 8 months where you can delay it. So you're testing all those applications and the stuff that you're using, and then you go and in-place upgrade, because there's no more wipe and load requirements anymore. And for the rest, they just have OS build numbers 14393, which converts to 1607, all those other fancy stuff. But to just quickly go back to the slide, some of the new stuff in 1607 was the better encryption algorithm, how they encrypt the disks to 256 bytes. You can put your keys into Azure AD before you could save it into Active Directory, which is always what you do want, because who remembers a 40 character key or higher, right? DMA port protection was one of the ways in which you could actually hack BitLocker, because remember, whatever you run on your computer, security, secrets, stuff like that, generally sometimes put into memory. In fact, everything has to be in memory before a computer can process it or use it. So DMA port protection protects those special lightning ports and stuff, whereby people could just like stick in a device, read memory, and get that key. So this way, BitLocker is safe again, and you can configure pre-boot security with group policy now. For those of you that do have BitLocker, I know the guy showed how you can go and try and brute force hack Windows login or an account. And if you have BitLocker enabled on the drive, you can actually protect that. Now this is something that's not really new, just I still find that a lot of guys using BitLocker still don't know about it. It's a method where you can access via group policy, assign that if somebody's trying to hack your machine and they threshold of let's say 5 miscounts or 10, whatever you want to put it, then it will restart the machine or reboot the machine and give you the BitLocker code prompt. So that's a good way to protect yourself if somebody's trying to just, directly hack your machine. And it's really just a group policy setting. See, my resolution is the same to save time. I think I put it over here. Yeah, so it's really just a group computer configuration group policy, one of the security options. Interactive login machine account lockout threshold. So it's where you can set after X amount of invalid login attempts, the machine will notice, hey, somebody's trying to hack us, reboot, whether it's in Windows or whatever, and just go into the BIOS and say, enter BitLocker recovery key. And that's a pretty hard key to crack.
Will they be locked in the event log?
What's that?
If this occurs, will that be locked in the event log?
Yeah, yeah. That will definitely log something. Default is 0, so you just enter in a number and that's it. So it's really something that's been there since Windows 7, I believe, but a lot of people still not aware that you can protect yourself against brute force attacks. So that's just one of the stuff built in. Yeah, Windows updates. Also, just some quick information. Long-term servicing branch is really something you only look at if you have specialized hardware-driven machines, or like something that runs a bank vault electronic lock or something like that.
We see that completely different at our customers. We don't advise them or something, but they simply don't have the money, even big guys don't have the money and the time to put in a new operating system every 8 months.
I understand that.
And they don't want all those fancy apps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not really about the apps. Huh? The power of Windows 10 is its stability and its ability to change. You know, change is not always great. We don't like it. But we need to change. You need to evolve, because those hacks and the guys that are coming out with the fancy tricks and things, it changes all the time. And that's the reason why XP, if you're still using it, you know, it's like giving somebody a bank card with a PIN code. Even Windows 7. You know, if you don't have it protected with BitLocker and some of the other latest stuff and keeping it security updates, there's not much you can do. So that rapid change cycle, yeah, great for the features, but it's not really for the features that's doing it, because you have to move along with the times every time to stay secure.
Yeah, but if you get new features, there's a lot of QA and testing to be done.
Exactly.
Because it
And
could
that's-
break your apps, or it could change your scaling, it could change your user density if we talk VDI or Zenab specific.
I know, I've had the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
arguments
yeah,
with the
so-
clients, and
I would
then,
expect majority of customers to not follow the faster path.
well, that's why you can, delay it for 8 months, and then you can also pause. So you can buy yourself about a year, and that should be enough to test. So you could stay on a build for about a year.
It's like
You know, when you have like
I
10
know,
different
but it's expired
combinations, maybe
now, fuck.
1 year enough.
Well, there's only really just one build of Windows. Yeah? There's only just one enterprise build that you will be using. So when they bring out, let's say every year a new feature update, you're only going to be implementing that the next year,
Look,
if you think about that.
we have 1,700 applications on it. And if it's only 1% which break with new release, yeah? That's like hundreds or tens of it. And somebody has to test it.
Well, technically it should still work. Because underlying, I mean, if you're looking at Windows 10, there's not much changed
Yeah.
since Vista.
Yes, but
I mean, Vista was the game changer. That's why this whole game changer stuff Microsoft is showing. It started with Vista, So I'm just the messenger.
So we can show you.
but you only want to shoot it.
Current branch for business is really, Helge said it best. And you just enable it using group policy. In the beginning when they were talking about Windows as a service, and there's going to be a new way of Windows update for business and we all thought we're going to get some special thing. You need a server, you're going to install it, but it's really just a group policy thing. It's let's see, where is it? It's like one of these options. Minimize that. Let's see if it's here. Nope. And it's really just group policy, and everybody's already using group policy. It's also one of the computer configuration Windows components, Windows Update, where you can specify defer Windows updates, so select when you want your feature updates and your quality updates. So,
Can you read the note also if you've finished?
sure. Are you talking about the telemetry thing?
That's quite strange.
Yes.
I don't want to
There's
share my
a-
information, so I can't use it anymore.
The reason is it needs to know on which build you are. And if you have no telemetry, you're not sending anything, like you're not even telling them you're on Windows this. I mean, even now, Windows 7, it's saying I'm on Windows 7, this, I need that. Windows Update works that way. So you need to send some information. It's like when I go to the hotel, I have to tell them, this is my credit card, this is who I am, and then they give me my room key.
Yeah,
No, you-
but you're not gonna tell who are your kids, where you live, what your PIN pass number is, etc., etc. And this one is not quite limited. It's simply telling.
But, well, it's not really zooming in on the thing, but this thing says if it's 0, so it should at least be 1.
Yeah.
You have to send them basic information. I mean, most of the guys, when they install Windows 10, they're not reading those screens. So this you can just enable it to get back into the thing, and there you can specify, which branch you want to be in, and also defer for how many days, 180, 90,
So there is no need for telemetry to defer something because if I just don't want it.
Yes, if
need to
you
know what I
don't
currently
want it,
have, I
just
just
don't
want
send
it.
anything and stop it. And I actually have on another presentation a slide with all the domains which you can just block from Microsoft if you don't want to send in any information. But you got to give to get, right?
I paid for it. Yeah.
Well, you're paying for the right to use it. I think if you read that small print, it's never really yours.
Yeah, I understand, but still a lot of money that they're getting every year.
But we don't know where, we're gonna end up with Windows, because right now, before, you could buy software, run it for 5, 10 years, and that company wouldn't be making money off you. Now business models kind of change, so it's an economical thing where, think of cloud services, Office 365, Azure, it's pay per use.
Yeah, but for enterprise, you always have to pay annually, you always have to have software assurance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I bought enterprise and I could run it forever. I mean,
Well, you had the rights to get the new stuff, because you paid for it. And now,
I paid annually. I mean, it was
now you're just paying to keep getting the new stuff, or to keep using it. And all those extra stuff you used to get with software assurance, it's now built into Windows 10. AppV, who's not using AppV?
Oh, Pro not anymore.
Well, it's built into Windows 10. Even
50% of
Even their roaming profile substitute software, user experience virtualization or UEV, is also built in for free in
Actually,
Windows 10.
Microsoft doesn't support it. That's what we find.
They do. Windows Hello, don't just use a password. I mean, my thing recognizes me, my mug, and it allows me to log on. So, with the TPM chip, my password and my information is stored securely on the device, and I don't need to put in my password. If it doesn't recognize me for some reason, like a couple of weeks ago, I was either too drunk or my beer or something, and I just have to put in a PIN code. It's like more secure because the PIN is device specific. So it's not like you're putting in your password everywhere. So even if somebody gets my PIN code, or they don't get my password, that's secure. And they can't read it because nobody should have full admin rights on their systems. And most of those hacks that you see, most of them are, if you have full admin, then you're pretty much owned. Somebody just needs access to your things. So nice thing is biometrics with Windows Hello for Windows 10 can also be used for Windows in your enterprise, for enterprise apps, things. So instead of just a Microsoft account, your Azure AD or Active Directory stuff also gets stored in your personal TPM. And this is just like a chart to show that it always goes back to the device. You just need a PIN or your biometrics, and it will give you access to your enterprise things. Device Guard. Who hasn't heard of Device Guard or Credential Guard? It's actually the new cool stuff that I hope everybody will be using, because it's a way where you have, it's like a combination of the hardware, so it uses TPM and virtualization, including software security features. So it makes you more secure than just having a password by protecting what is allowed to run. So normally you have like user mode processes, kernel mode processes. Well, they kind of split that up by providing us using virtualization. And this is not like some people used to explain, like it's a virtual machine running on your computer. It's really just processes running virtually. And the reason for that is to kind of block certain processes from running the secure kernel mode and secure user mode. So only through a specific process can secrets and things be accessed.
And then running in sense of virtualized like sandboxing or?
Yeah, very much like sandboxing. But that's really just for the secrets. Huh? It's, you still have your normal applications, just the security stuff. So it's really stuff that used to exist on like mobile platforms before, like the containers and the sandboxing and the things, and now it's available for Desktop OS. So it requires VBS, hypervisor, you have credential guard which you can configure, and there's extra portion which is the code integrity. That's where you have code signing. So that's like an extra step in where you need like extra stuff really to enable that. But to enable device guard, all you need is UEFI, BIOS, the normal stuff you require to have a hypervisor on your desktop. Most of the modern laptops, computers have them already. VGate, ENDV, SLAT, x64 processor, some memory, and a TPM, even 1.2 should do it. So I'm going to skip a bunch of slides. Most of the stuff will be in there, and you really just enable it using group policy. So once again, it's just a it's on here somewhere. It's a group policy option. Under computer configuration, system device guard, and then you really just turn it on. So you can enable it to protect from secure boot and secure boot and DMA. So just protecting DMA memory as well. And then you can enable credential guard. Credential guard uses the exact same virtualization containers, you could call it, for network secrets. So if you're using your login passwords for Active Directory, Azure AD, or other credentials, it will be saved in there. So most of the stuff, pretty easy. Group policy can be configured. Most of the slides should be available. Just to show you guys quickly, I'll step through a few slides. I don't have to rush now. Because normally you have normal mode and secure mode with hypervisor in between, just showing that the normal kernel can't access isolated user mode. So we have all these different processes that are protected in this section of the kernel architecture. Oh, that's just the LSAS, exe, just an architecture overview of authentication processes. Once again, enabling credential guard in group policy, how you validate it. You can look at it through SIM or MS Info. Same stuff. Windows information protection, endpoint data protection, but they say it's built into Windows, which is not really correct, because there's an agent built into Windows and you really need an MDM solution to really configure it. So you can encrypt data on either employee-owned or personal devices. So you specify, okay, if a guy has his work mail or he gets documents that are work-based, it's encrypted on his computer. And even if somebody copies it onto a USB stick or he mails it to somebody else, it won't be able to, whoever opens it on the other side won't be able to access it, because that is configured with conditional access policies. So there's really just certain policies that are put in place where you specify that device is the only device that can read those information that the guy sets up, or that's corporate owned. So in the policy you can set up that those type of documents or things are classified. But moving to the fun stuff, Windows Defender, it's free. It's antivirus, malware protection. It's built in there in Windows 10. And with all those cyber attacks happening, people being hacked, LinkedIn. I know there was a funny website recently, Adult Friend Finder, where all the passwords are set. I hope you guys change your passwords. like I did. But you know, most of these websites get hacked on a daily basis, and most people reuse the same passwords. I mean, Remco found how big was that file? How many passwords did it have in?
Yeah,
Like millions or something. You know, it's literally dumps of passwords that you can download for the whole world. And the funny part is that it's not just viruses or things that are specifically written. Some of these hacks use normal PowerShell. And what's PowerShell? It's the default standard. Or anyway, it's become the default standard. In fact, with the new build, command line has been removed. Well, you can enable it, but you have to use PowerShell to enable the command line. But still, you know, PowerShell is built into Windows 10. It's the de facto standard. And with PowerShell, it's assigned Windows, you know, process or application. So any code you run there, no antivirus or malware is going to even look at it. But with Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection, it uses the built-in agent, Windows Defender, and the cloud service. So it's pretty new still. You can sign up for a trial. In fact, I'm still waiting because like when you sign up, you first have to check out your company and stuff. And my company is just me. So I'm still waiting for my access to Advanced Threat Protection. But I've seen it in action and it really works great, and it protects against some of the latest breaches. So it works both pre and post breach, because most of the time, you know, you don't know you've been hacked. And if only there was like a tool that showed you, hey, on this date, back in September, this process did that. And this is exactly what this service does. So it uses, once again, telemetry is required because you have to send information to the cloud. So just before you mention or ask, I thought I'd mention that. So all your endpoints are sending in data to the threat intelligence service, or the ATP tenant that you have up there. That gets information directly from different teams, both community side, both Microsoft Intelligence, machine learning, and it analyzes like tons of data. And this is also what I find funny. You know, in Yoni and in the control up session where we're sending all the data to get information, that's okay. The minute somebody like Microsoft gets information, it's a bad guy. But it's used for good, right? So all those data that they get, they analyze it. And think about it. I'm based in the Netherlands, like a lot of you guys. So something happens in the States, and we all know how even things like Twitter gets trending, or chain mails, or people mail something from one part of the world to another part of the world, and everybody's infected, like ransomware, for example. If there's an attack, like let's say in America, their system will pick it up, and before it gets to Netherlands, will be protected. So it will already have like all the signatures of the process that causes all that stuff. So it will send some of that information down to the endpoints because it's built in, right? And that just gets some of that information.
Is this also using the cool stuff that the peer-to-peer update mechanism?
No.
So any machine needs to have access to the internet, get the information.
Well, this is ideally for enterprises.
Mhm.
This is for enterprise. So you as an enterprise have a tenant, and all your endpoints are signed up and connected to this tenant. So whatever information is in the cloud, your agent will be aware of what it gets. So in case somebody sends a file that looks suspicious, or somebody sends an Outlook file or something, and we know that if you have full admin rights on your local machine, you sometimes don't even see pop-ups or UAC or something happening. You know, it's totally in the background for the user. And it's just a process that's running, making copies of itself, trying to find different user accounts or different computers on the network, and it's trying to copy itself wherever, for example. So this is like a view from the portal, this I just stole from internet, where you'll be able to see that through a timeline, you know, what's been happening in your organization. You'll be able to see which machines. So you can see that somewhere, Control plus, oops. Let's move this. Yeah. So somewhere you can see on a particular date, Outlook just dropped and executed a file. And this is the kind of information that you can see. And then it will show, well, PowerShell command line was then activated. And this is stuff that antivirus and malware stuff don't even look at. This gets bypassed through all that stuff because it's normal built-in Windows files, signed code. And then it will see that it made a change in the current version run registry. So it's probably just stuck something in there so that the next time the computer restarts, you know, that machine is owned. And then there's nothing that the guy can't do after a restart, because then he's in control, right? And then reverse shell has been detected, port scanning tool, so he's scanning ports to try and find which ports are open, where can he get to another machine, maybe trying to download stuff directly to the machine. And it will even give you what kind of attack, you know, like what kind of virus or signature does this attack style or file have, because there are different organizations or hackers that have their own signatures, you could say, or what kind of things. Because generally what they do is they make like a virus or an attack, and it has a particular signature, and then it gets sent out there. It just gets sent wild, right? They don't really target something. This is like people that are just targeting whoever and hoping to get something. And most times you have where antivirus and malware will then pick it up, and then they'll say, okay, it's more than an hour or 24 hours or whatever, and then they make minor modifications so that it looks like something new. But what this will show, it will even show things like which external IPs have been contacted, etc. So it will give you like a lot of information. And just going to the next slide, it even gives you information on the type of attack that it is and show you which part of the world is affected by that kind of attack.
If you drill down to, say, the suspicious PowerShell code, it will show you the line that was executed, or?
I believe so. I believe so. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I can't say because I'm under NDA, but you know, once you sign up for a trial and you go and look through it yourself, you'll see exactly what kind of depth. It will show you the exe file, etc. It will show you which other machines will be affected in your organization, which users will log into those machines. So it's really, really great information for just having, you know, protecting yourself against both pre and post. So the number of machines with alerts, the type of alerts, what kind of severity the malware or attacks are, if it's like ransomware, backdoor, because all these things also have like a kind of signature to it. And you'll be able to see like your endpoints. Maybe there's one that's not reporting on information and things anyway. And also the alerts mapping where it's happening. So it gives you a lot of detailed information, and there's a lot of drill down stuff.
This is only in the latest release of Windows 10?
Well, it's a cloud service mostly, but it uses the built-in Windows Defender. Yeah, I think from 1607. So anything 1607 and above.
And no way Windows 7.
Hmm?
No way Windows 7 or anything.
No. I mean, there's this other part which is, you know, it's this is purely with the Windows Defender part, agent as service. So that's about it for me, guys. Thank you very much. Send Microsoft a little bit of love.